Dodder, Cuscuta spp. Dodder, Cuscuta, is a genus of plant pests including about 200 species. The weed damages different weed and agricultural crops: sugar beet, potatoes, vegetables, flax, melons, vineyards, raspberries, as well as ornamental and wild-growing plants. About 10 Dodder species are serious plant pests contaminating agricultural plantations in Russia. All of them are objects of domestic quarantine. The entire genus Cuscuta is included in the list of 2 of the common list of quarantine pests of the Eurasian Economic Union. Dodder is a quarantine weed in the European Union as well. The genus Cuscuta is cosmopolitan and includes all the species present in different climatic zones in all parts of the northern hemisphere, and to some extent in the southern hemisphere. The prevailing number of species, 140, grow in the North and South Americas. The weed is widespread in all European countries, in some regions of Asia, Africa, and Australia. In Russia, it occurs in the European part, reaching the northern shores of Lake Onega in the northern Caucasus and Dagestan in the east, and West Siberia in the Far East. Cuscuta belongs to parasitic plants, which cannot absorb water and nutrients from the soil, synthesize nutrients in the light, so they live at the expense of the host plant. We have detected European dodder here. The plant has no roots and leaves, so it does not go through the process of photosynthesis. That is, it is a complete parasite feeding only at the expense of the host. You can see how it braids the host plant. It forms special suckers, haustoria, here in this place, and it feeds on the host plant. Species of the Dodder genus consume organic and inorganic nutrients from host plants. In this way, they cause a general metabolic disturbance in plants, weaken and delay their growth and development, lead to mass death of host plants. If it finds a suitable host, it wraps itself around it until its death. If the outbreaks are large, it looks like this. Dry plants are wrapped with them. Everything is tied up. A whole group of thick-stemmed dodder has adapted to parasitism on trees and shrubs. This is European dodder, Cuscuta europea. That is, this is a thin-stemmed dodder. It can be seen on herbaceous plants. It likes to parasitize on the nettle. Another kind of dodder can be found on the herbaceous plants, trees, and shrubs, and Cuscuta lupiliformis, thick-stemmed. The herbaceous plants affected by dodder dry long. They are damaged by mold. They lose nutrition. Suckers destroy the fibers of kenaf, jute, flax. Such stems cannot be soaked. They give the unevenly colored fiber. In sugar beet, affected by dodder, sugar content is reduced by 2%. Berries and fruit trees do not bear fruit. They partially or completely wither. In addition, dodder is the vector of the wood-causative agents of viral plant diseases, yellowing and mosaic viruses. The weed itself is poisonous. It causes severe damage to the gastrointestinal tract of cattle. The species of the genus Cuscuta, terrestrial annual, less often overwintering parasites, with curly, smooth, warty, filiform, or cordiform stalk. Color of the stem is diverse, shades of yellow or red. In the spring, young dodder shoots appear. They are green, can still photosynthesize, feed themselves. Then, when these shoots reach the host plant, they attach themselves with their suckers, haustoria, to the host plant. The lower part of the stalk, with the root, dies. Accordingly, the ability to photosynthesize at this time is no longer necessary for them. Stems turn from green into red or yellow. The seeds of the representatives of the genus Cuscuta are also of different color, from light yellow to dark brown. The form is spherical, oval, or slightly elongated. The surface is shiny, spongy. The embryo of the seed is spirally folded, not differentiated by root and stem. When germinating, it spreads. Its thickened end is fixed in the soil. The other end of the embryo gets to the surface of the soil and begins to rotate in search of a suitable host plant. Moreover, the sprout responds to the chemicals released by the host plant. The dodder wraps its stem, making 2 to 4 turns, after which the rings are tightened and compressed. In places of contact, the stalk of the dodder is flattened, densely covering the affected plant. The paracyclic cells begin to divide, and the suckers, haustoria, are formed from them. They are introduced into the soft tissues of the stalk of the host plant, and the parasite begins to feed. Growing and forming stems, dodders form dense thickets. The dodder has no leaves because the leaves are needed for photosynthesis. Respectively, a parasitic plant does not need them, but it has a large number of flowers collected in many-headed inflorescences. And then, after the flowering, a large number of seeds ripens on each stem. The flowers of the dodder are collected in a globose, spicate, or globular inflorescence. Flowers with double perianth, white, pinkish, or greenish in color, measuring from 2 to 7 millimeters. Fruit is a capsule, usually globose or obloid spherical, membranous, or berry-shaped. Seeds of weed in the soil can remain viable up to 6 years. In the European part of Russia, a survey for species of the genus Cuscuta is carried out from June to early August. During the weed flowering period, dodder can be identified to the genus over the vegetable part of the plant, so the sample must contain parts of the stem of a weed plant with flowers and fruits. All Russian Plant Quarantine Center has developed the key for the identification of the family Cuscutaceae by a morphological method. Agrotechnical methods to control dodder are aimed at the eradication of vegetative plants and dodder seeds in the soil. For this, we carry out weeding, mowing, and burning out of plants affected by a weed plant. Various herbicides are also used, which are allowed for use in the Russian Federation. Now, it is in a blossoming state. Seeds will begin to form in half a month. Now it is the right time to control it until the seeds ripen. Otherwise, then not even mature seeds can germinate next year. To control it is to use either chemical methods, herbicides of general effect, or mowing. On sites heavily affected by dodder, it is necessary to sow crops for 3 to 4 years on which the dodder does not develop. The weed has natural enemies, including Smycronix jungermaniae Reich and Melanogromiza cuscutiae Henning. There were also 20 species of various fungi parasitizing dodder.